sit down, coming out of PE town. Drink, find a shot, never mind your liver, get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot!
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot!
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle, have a Gino shot.
Gino shot!
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot!
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot!
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle, get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot!
All right. We are here. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gino's Spot. Fantastic to have you all here on this beautiful evening here tonight. And it is going to be a packed show. Woo! It's a packed show. Tuesday, always wonderful shows. Wonderful shows. So, first of all, we're going to get ourselves a drink. I hope you've all got a little drink. I've got a little gin and tonic. You know, I went the conservative route today because of my advanced age. And so I'm going to have a lovely drink with you. So cheers, everyone. Cheers. And I hope that there's birthdays and things out there. I know it's Carol Ann Cash's birthday was last week. I was pleased to see she's 50 years old now, getting very old. And if there's anyone with their birthdays or anniversaries, put it in the comments. They're going to have a look at the comments now and see what's going on. There I see Tanya Hemmings says, hello, Gina. Hello, Tanya Hemmings. Nice to see you. I hope you've got a drink as well. I'm sure you have because, you know, you're one of those people that always has a drink with them even in the mornings, eh? Okay, so obviously I'm here for, being Jack. I'm just here to do the MC duties tonight. We got a packed show. John Sanei, all the way from Cape Town, but all the way from Dubai. Actually, he's just moved to Cape Town, and he's an absolutely incredible chap. No, I'm back. Gee whiz, there's something going on here. I don't know. Something happened there. Just popped out for a minute to get another drink. Where is it? Here it is. Here we go. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, hello, Wendy Tompkins. Nice to see you here. Very nice to our winner last week of our Fitch and Leeds hamper. And like I said, a packed show tonight. We got what you're watching as well. But let's get into a little bit of technologies, what John's all about. So I thought, I'd speak a little about technology. He's moved all the way to Cape Town, from Dubai. And I know in Cape Town, a mixed marriage is a marriage between a man and a woman. Absolutely, and it was Pride Month last month. I'm very for it. I went to a gay wedding, and it was wonderful. Just one thing, I caught the guard. I didn't get the guard. I caught the jockstrap. Well, I've just bronzed it, and I keep my golf balls in it now. Isn't that nice? Hello, Michael Howard. Nice to see you. Hello, Mark in Cape Town. Very nice. Jennifer Schultz. Pineapples looking great. Thank you so much. I put the pineapples here because obviously everybody's making pineapple beer. So now technology is one thing that I haven't got used to. Obviously, speed dating they have. Speed dating now on the interweb. I don't know. So I'm more like carbon dating. That's me, And as speed, why can't people just rely on good old-fashioned, alcohol and bad judgment? I don't know why not. And even, the youngsters of today, they don't even know what's going on. Like if you look at the youngsters, they had to put an advert out on the internet to tell people not to WhatsApp 10111. Did you see that? They put an advert, please don't. Can you imagine that? Oh my God, there's someone in the house. Boop, 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 boop on their phones. I just don't get it. And you can't say, oh my God anymore. Got to say OMG. OMG. I've got my own ones for that, for those shortening of names, the new internet lingo. Like BFF. best friend fell. That's my one. And laughing, LMDO, laughing my dentures out. Oh, yes. That's and what did Roffelague? Roffelague, it's rolling on the floor, dancing rolling in the floor, laughing, and I can't get up. I can't get up. And my daughter sent me a WhatsApp the other day, said WTF. I don't know what that means. I think it means wait till Friday. What's the fuss? Maybe it's that. And technology is a problem, and John I'm sure he will concur with me. Technology is a real problem. That's taking our jobs. My own job they took from me. Technology took my job. I was a night watchman. I was replaced by a lock. Oh, well, it's I'm getting old and I don't even know what's going on. I'm getting too old, I walk down the stairs in the morning, I don't even know if I'm going up for a pee or I'm coming down for a cup of tea, The other day I found a suppository in my left ear. A suppository. I don't know why it was there. I haven't found my hearing aid for a few days. I don't know where it is. Anyway. That's fine, probably. And my memory's okay. My memory's all right, touch wood. Who's there? I don't know who's there. Anyway, probably some kids playing tok-toki or something. Anyway, it's nice in the old age home here at, Lobes Park East. I'm there next to, Gino and Naomi are there, and all my friends are there. But the advertising there is still snail mail, I got a pamphlet. I got a pamphlet in my letterbox the other day. It said, you can still have, and you'll still make love at 82. Which is quite nice, because I'm at 78, so it's only 3 houses up. Okay, we're going to hit a little song now. We're going to just say hello to the chaps in the comments and do the song. Hit it, DJ Maestro. There we go. Oh, that sounds nice. Let me see some of those comments. Put the old records off the shelf. Sit and listen to them by myself. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I got that old time of rock and roll. Miranda Cacrila Quencha. See, and the Maku were moving. Thank you, fam. Please watching out. Got the same soul. Gail Rick still got rock and roll. You got that old Ray Hizzer off. Kind of music just to soothe my soul. I reminisce about the days of old. That old time of rock and roll. And never take me to the disc roll. The kind of music just Wendy Tompkins Thompson. Michael Howard back in Cape Town. That's that old time of rock and roll. Jennifer Schultz says the pineapples are looking great. And I'm me at the wheel. Don Taylor, how'd you know? Curiosity gone wild. Oh, Jose Pereira, great memory there. Roxanne Redmond, hello Gino. That's all right. The flippin' awesome checking man. Carol Jacobs, the horsey man. What do you go? There we go, rushing from Arena Resort. And Peter Lawrence with his retort. There we go. Lynn Barler, brilliant. No particular place to go. No, hey, hello Nearfield, there we go. Who we got here? Glenn Fuller, how's it, Glenn? The Musos in town. The Musos are here. Michael Howard. Michael Howard, Mike Tyson making a comeback. What is that all about? Leanne Brown, Schley, Molden Hall. Where'd you find your outfits out? Jennifer Schultz and Lemma Mao around here, and I open the door and Tim Mason. Hello, Gino. What was that to lose? Daniel DeLonga. Mecca man lekker. Joan Portgita. Bousfield. Lynn Bonner. Oh, yeah. All right. Wayne Smith. Hey, VP. All right. Hey, Simon Brown living old at Domi Place. Roxanne Rethman, Muso's in the house. That's right. Gavin Ashley Fowler, we all there. Gavin Carroll and Dan and a Peggy Sue, good golly, Miss Somebody was even there too. The splish splash, I fell back in the bath. Well, how was I to know there was a party going on? There was a splishing and a splashing. Rick and North of Gino, Muckanoli. Woo, yeah. All right. It's very nice tonight. That's right. All right. Mama, yeah. All right. Thank you. Ah, very nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a packed show tonight. My word. It's just, first of all, a thank you to the sponsors, Fitch and Leeds. And with my little shrine. Whoa! Fantastic. Or supporting local artists. They are, even in these COVID times. And of course, Mobia, the amazing internet guys. Thank you so much for the home and business Wi-Fi, as well as super speed fiber into the future. And ECM for Eastgate Motors for the vehicles. And of course, Blue Waters Cafe, always in support of Blue Waters. Beautiful. Look at that view. Look at that beautiful view. Lovely. They are open for business. All right. So let's get back to business now. We've got a little sections in the show that we've been doing, and the one that's been quite popular. And I must admit, it's piqued my interest because I've been watching stuff that the guys have been suggesting. It's what you're watching, and we're going to bring in this week Darren Fuller. It's what you're watching.
Hello,
Darren. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Yourself?
Good.
COVID high five.
Other way. Yes. Yeah, high five. Fantastic to have you on the show. I know that you're a crazy. On Facebook, I love your post. You've always got some crazy post about something that you're watching, and so I thought you were the perfect person to have in here. Perfect person to have.
I am crazy, so I am pretty good. Yeah.
I know, and I know that you're on the forefront of the fight as well. There, you're in the trenches with the blood services. Is that right?
Yes, I work for the South African National Blood Services. So we are out there every day trying to procure blood. It is a difficult time, these COVID pandemic times, but we need blood, so it's a very important thing, and I'm very proud to be working for them. Yes.
Excellent. And have you grown your teeth? Your teeth insides are grown those canines.
That's on a need-to-know basis.
Ah, right. Oh, so the blood services.
No, you don't need to know about that. Yeah.
They keep that secret. Excellent.
We do.
All right, Darren. Well, give it a go. Your first watch you're watching. So give it a go. I'm going to disappear.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Obviously, as you know, I'm Darren. Okay, look, asking me about series is it's like a well of information. You can never stop. So I'm just going to try and point out a few things that I've been watching. Obviously, if I was on complete lockdown, I would have finished Netflix. So luckily I wasn't. Okay, so what I just finished literally a day or two ago was Unsolved Mysteries. Oh my word. Look, okay, I do tend towards the murderous little bit, the dark, science fiction. But Unsolved Mysteries is obviously a reboot of the 80s show. So they show 6 unsolved mysteries of crimes that have occurred over the last 10 or so years. And it is amazing. It was so good. Randomly, the 3rd episode is in French, but subtitled, so it's all right. It's very, very good. It was so beguiling. The only annoying thing is, of course, that at the end of the episode, you're like, it's not solved. But of course, that is the title of the show. So, Unsolved Mysteries, if you are into the true crime, unsolvable, mysterious, very, very good. I enjoyed it. Okay, so if you think you're already kind of in a dystopian period of the world in 2020, and you maybe want to watch something a little bit cheerier, I don't have much for you, but Space Force, I haven't finished it yet, but Space Force was so good. And, I'd heard everyone saying, it's actually not as good as The Office. And, it's not really, you shouldn't bother watching it. But I absolutely enjoyed it. It was so enjoyable. John Malkovich is just, he's so beautifully sarcastic in it. And it's really just, Steve Carell is fantastic in it. It's a really dry, sarcastic sort of show. And obviously it's based on getting boots on the moon. So it's a very funny show. I would advise watching that. Tiger King, look, it's the show of quarantine. I did give it a shot. I was 3 or 4 episodes in. Didn't really grab me, despite the tigers and the murder mystery. Other than that, there are so many good shows. Oh gosh, if I had, I don't have enough time. There's Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist if you like music and happiness. Prodigal Son if you like murder and Michael Sheen. The Woods and The Stranger, which are both murder mysteries based on Harlan Coben's books. But if you're just looking to binge and you just want to forget the pandemic, you just want to have some time to yourself, drink some wine and be merry, I would advise we are rewatching The Mentalist at the moment. Simon Baker, that smile. Parks and Recs, The Office. Honestly, this is the time to watch it if you haven't. So pretty much that's what I've been watching at the moment. Like I said, I could continue forever. Doctor Who is still one of my absolute favorites. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Firefly, Lost. But of course, now we're going into 2000s and the 90s. So that's my advice. Unsolved Mysteries, Space Force, Altered Carbon. Yes, I would say that's what you should be on.
Excellent.
On Netflix.
Excellent. Darren, that's fantastic. I shall have a look at that. I've watched Space Force. It was fantastic.
Wasn't it so good? I adored it.
It's ridiculous. It just brings out the whole ridiculous idea of having a police force in space.
And John Malkovich. I could watch it just for him.
It is amazing, and my wife Philippa is on the sound here. She's like, Simon Baker.
Yes, Simon Baker. Yes, Mentalist. I'm enjoying it again.
That is great. So you're watching it the second time now.
I am.
So I can see that's going to happen in our house. I don't know if I can go a whole second time with that.
Simon
and
Baker.
I see somebody said that they gave blood 125 times. Who's that? Caesar got bipolar Pangela.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you are fantastic. You are so lovely. Please, I'll try and find you on the system tomorrow and phone you.
She'll be very thin.
No, we're all good. We love people. We give gifts.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Darren. That was fantastic what you're watching.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure. Well, I'm sure we'll have you again. All right. That's Darren. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got an amazing guest this time. I've always had comedians or musicians and things, and we're going for something different now. John Sanei, he is amazing. I met him at a function in the Drakensberg, and this was quite a few years back, probably about 3 or 4 years back. And he was talking about the future, and he was talking about tech and AI and singularity, and he was just talking about stuff that of humanity going online, and he was just making predictions. And I thought to myself, as soon as COVID hit, I thought John is the guy to ask about this stuff. He comes alive at the intersection of human psychology and futurism. He uses his truly unique perspective to discover elegant ways for his global audience to build clarity and courage that's needed to approach the future with confidence. Please welcome onto my stage at Gino's spot, John Sanei. John is there.
What's up? How you doing?
How's it, John? Lovely to have you.
Yeah, thanks. I've been watching the show. It's great, man. I miss having you on stage and entertaining. But it must be hard telling jokes with nobody laughing in front of you. Hey, it must be quite weird.
Man, it's so hectic. Philippa's laughing. I've got Philippa here.
Okay. At least you got somebody.
John,
Okay, good.
John, I think you're going to have to turn that thing back on the sound back on again. That if you go down to your camera there and just cam mic and go to audio and then just it'll cut my delay that's coming through there.
And now? Is that better?
Okay, that's better. That is beautiful. That is the most
great.
beautiful sound I've heard ever.
Well, I'm glad. I'm here for
John,
your service.
fantastic. Fantastic to have you on the show. Wow, man. Like I said, since that time I saw you there, I thought to myself, this is a guy I must talk to during COVID because he's had a thought or two about things that are happening in the future as a futurist, really, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, look, people pay me to try and give them some sort of direction and preparation tools to prepare for the future. So yes, I've been writing a lot since COVID happened and thinking a lot about the possibilities. And so, yes, great to be here and wonderful to be sharing it with you and your audience.
Incredible, man. And like I said, it's almost like the first person I thought of when COVID went down was you, because you were talking about going online, everything going online and AI and this whole thing of also the singularity, which we can get to later as well. So I find fascinating as well. But you just let's start at the beginning. Where did you come from? You're an entrepreneur.
Well, look, I come from a single mom family, and we were always financially challenged. And so from a very young age, I wanted to be able to give this freedom to myself with just having access to money. So I started working at 13. I had my first business at 17. At 27, I was a millionaire. And then I lost everything at 30. And that was the beginning of me preparing to teach about human psychology and around futurism because of my own sort of pain that I went through in the bankruptcy. So yes, entrepreneur, to bankruptcy, to lecturer, speaker, and author.
Well, that's such an important part of the journey because you need to be, if you're going to be talking to people and you're going to be convincing, being positive about things, you've got to have walked the walk, and I think that sounds like you've walked it there and back.
Well, look, I mean, I think the thing is when you hit that deep level of depression, that deep level of angst around what you should be doing with your life, you start to ask yourself some deeper questions. And I think these deeper questions that got me really start to think about things in a new way. And practicing it is the only way I can actually teach it and write about it. Otherwise, I don't understand it deeply enough. And so it has to be a practiced process to overcome some ways of thinking, for doing things that take more courage and preparing for the future as a broader sort of perspective and action.
Well, what I enjoyed most about I mean, and I must remind you, because I'm sure that it probably happens all the time, but you were the first speaker that I've seen that actually got a standing ovation at that gig that we did, and for somebody who's a keynote speaker or something, it's like normally a nice speech and very encouraging and maybe shed a tear, but you had them on their feet, which was incredible, and I related to that energy.
Yeah, look, I mean, as a performer, it's always wonderful to get that standing ovation. And I think it's something we always appreciate so much. But I think the reason that crowds like what I say is I like to surprise the crowd, take them deeper into questions that they haven't reflected on before. And instead of just talking about technology in the future, I like to combine neuroscience and the plasticity of our thinking and imagination, perspective and projection. So these things are always surprising to audiences, because if you're not asking yourself these deeper questions, you're not able to prepare for the future. No matter how much I tell you about AI and drones, it becomes irrelevant.
Yeah, you're right. And so I mean, I know that you've written a couple of books as well. You've got your and was that basically a process? Obviously, you start writing your first book, and then as you write it, you're thinking, man, I should be doing the second one already. It looks like it's going that way, and every time you're learning more and more.
Yeah, so look, there's a great saying by Yogi Bhajan. He says, if you want to understand something, read about it. If you want to really dive deeper into it, write about it. But if you want to master something, teach it. And so the process of going into the process of authoring a book, it's really about taking a concept or many concepts and diluting them, curating them, and then offering them to your audience. And really, it's quite a self-gratifying process because you get to know so much more and learn so much more. So I've been writing a book every year for the last 4 years, and my fourth one is about to come out in the next 2 months or so.
Okay, so that is that the future now? Is that the
so
Future Now
it's
is your
called
last
Future
book?
Next. Future Now is an ebook I wrote right at the beginning of COVID. Then I wrote Future How, and now I'm writing Future Next. It's a trilogy series. So Future Next should come out in the next few months.
Okay, because I mean, the one thing that struck me about your talk at that time was that it almost brought this whole thing into a practical sense, you know. And you were talking about AI and stuff, which also, like I said, fascinates me. The singularity thing, where you get to a tipping point, and all of a sudden, supercomputers are becoming more intelligent than humans, and then making themselves more intelligent, and it becomes like exponentially becomes something that the humans are going to be left behind. And then what do they do? You know, do they go? How do you work with that? It's mind blowing actually for a human.
Yeah. Look. I think that the possibilities are there for that to happen. I think that once we start seeing it ramping up, I think there might be new councils in place and new laws in place to want to preempt that sort of stuff. So already there are so many sort of AI councils that are setting rules and trying to make sure that everybody's abiding by them. Look, the possibilities are there, but there's also a possibility of dying of nuclear war at any time. And there's also a possibility of many other things that could happen to us. But we're hoping that on an optimistic level that AI dystopian reality doesn't happen. And so I'm also part of Singularity University that's very much about setting up the policies and the laws around not making sure it doesn't happen.
On the faculty, I believe, and I think the first person in Africa, is that right?
Yes, I went to do an executive program there, and I decided to be interviewed for a faculty membership, and I actually met the guy that does all the interviewing for faculty for 3 days in a row for breakfast without knowing that he was going to be the person who was interviewing me.
Oh, no way.
On the fourth day, I went for the interview, and they didn't interview me. They just gave me my certificate and said, well done, welcome aboard the faculty member. So
after four breakfasts.
I didn't know who he was, you know. I just went and sat with him at breakfast, and he got along so well. So it was a fantastic gift.
It's the best way to do an interview. I bet you wish everybody could do that. You go for a job interview and you don't know you're having the interview.
Well, look, I mean, if you got the right skill sets, that's fantastic. If you're a muhu trying to trick your way into a job, then that's a terrible. Yeah, I know. So it was the most authentic way to get interviewed for sure.
My favorite was a guy that I knew was blagging his way into a job and said, he said, do you know Lotus 1, 2, 3? And he said, well, 1 and 2 I'm okay with, but 3 I'm still, you know. No. But so John, I mean, talk to us about. I know that your with your job is pretty much to feel it's kind of to fill people with hope. Really, I mean, that's what we're all trying to do, is to try and help. And do you yourself have moments of doubt? Do you have these moments where you think, you know, I know that you were talking in one of your little blog. I follow your little blogs every now and again and check. And you were talking about the fact that with COVID, you basically just have to accept and then sort of move on. You know, you have to mourn it, almost mourn this thing that's happened, your past life, basically.
Yeah. So look, I think. It's become less and less my doubts. Once I get to know how to manage my mindset and deal with my psychology and become much more actively involved in how I think, which is a practice that I've been doing for many, many years, your doubt becomes less and less and less. And the reason that people have doubt is that they are fearful of the future and they are fearful of their own potential and don't know what their own potential is. And so really you start to understand that anxiousness and doubt is just a lack of emotional fitness. And what you have to do is realize that just as a runner who doesn't get out of breath because he runs or she runs X amount of kilometers, that person has worked many, many years to become fit in their physical fitness. Now, anxiousness and doubt is an emotional unfitness. And so we must understand that it's very much manageable and something you can fix and something you can work on. So one of the things that I wrote about in the first book, Future Now, is that COVID has canceled all our futures. And what I actually said, the term was mourning our future memories. And so the thing with memories is that they don't only sit in our past, they also sit in our future, because your brain doesn't know if it's from the past or from the future. It's just something that's been embedded into your programming. So what happened is all of us lost our future, which means that we lost all these memories that we were expecting and projecting into the future. And we have to realize that if we don't give ourselves the gift of time to grieve them, what happens is we can get stuck in some of the negative emotions that are linked to mourning any sort of death or ending. And the 5 stages are denial, bargaining, anger, grief, and acceptance. And so what happens is most people get stuck in anger or denial or bargaining, and they are just holding on for it to go back to some sort of normality. And I've always said, look, if we do go into some sort of normality, that's going to take time. And if you're going to sit here in a sort of place of bargaining or bobbing around or feeling sorry for yourself or angry with the world, you're not actually helping anybody. So get yourself to acceptance so you can catalyze yourself into the future. And when we go back, then you'll have 2-3 businesses, 2-3 different ways to impact the world. And you would have developed a hybrid business. And that's what I've been doing quite extensively. And this is what I'm suggesting to most people do. And you doing that as well. Look where we are right now. Yeah.
No, I didn't know I was doing it, you know, John. I didn't know.
Well done. You're a superhero without even realizing it.
No, but, you were talking, just touched on the one thing about the hybrid business. And I know you're doing something like that now. This whole hybrid digital thing. Explain how that comes into things.
So I speak about this a lot actually to my customers, is that the way you sell your products, the medium in which you use determines how you sell it. Now, remember that all of us are now inside somebody's phone or inside somebody's computer, right? And what else are they doing on that phone? They are on TikTok. They're watching Gino's show. They're on WhatsApp. They're on Facebook. They're on email. They're on a million different things. So now, when we want to bring our product or service to them, we have to compete not against other speakers or entertainers. We have to compete against Instagram and TikTok. That's a very different process that you need to follow. And so what I've decided to do is make mini movies. And so what I do now, they're called hybrid digital presentations. And so I come on the webinar, whichever the client is, I introduce what I'm going to be talking about that day. I give about a 5-minute opening, and then I talk about a topic, and then I show them a 2-3 minute video of me speaking, but intersected with words, with pictures, with ideas, with other people speaking, and then come back to me. And then I do a Q&A with the audience, and then I introduce a new topic. You understand that this is dynamic, it's interactive, and it's well thought through. And I think that's necessary for us to start doing, is producing higher quality things.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I know from my stuff I'm doing here that the interaction with the audience is so important. And to have those comments coming up and to be talking to people. I see Jenny McAinsh, you're a superhero with that. You and Philip are both. Yes, my wife's right there doing the tech.
That's great, Philippa. Thanks so much for all the questions.
Yes.
I'm seeing that.
And she can, yes, they all they come up and that's the she's asking which authors you enjoy, and I suppose inspirations.
Yes, we might as well answer it. So look, Philippa, I think the thing for me is that what excites me the most and fascinates me the most is neuroplasticity and neuroscience, the way our brains work, and then also the future. So my favorite author when it comes to neuroplasticity is called Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's a neuroscientist that's become a meditation teacher. And so I've been to many of his meditation retreats around the world. And he has developed meditations that reprogram your brain that are just fantastic. So Dr. Joe Dispenza, great to watch his interviews on YouTube and to get his books. His latest one is called Becoming Supernatural. Then as far as the future is concerned, I follow a gentleman called Peter Diamandis. He's just brought a book out called The Future is Faster Than You Think. And he also has a book called Bold and Abundance. And he's one of the founders of Singularity University, a real smart guy. He's got so many different businesses and so many different ideas. And so he's also an excellent person to follow. And then I follow a podcast called A16Z. And A16Z are a company called Andreessen and Horowitz. And they were one of the original investors in Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Google. So they've got incredible insights into technology and the future. So I follow a range of different people and companies on a range of different platforms. So it's not just authors, but really just integrating my information as many different places as possible, whether it's video, voice, or books. It really doesn't matter as long as it excites me and fascinates me.
All right. Well, and now tell me, I know there's one thing as well that I already that I've made a note of here, because I love the idea of disruption. And you were you did your talk on a lot of that when we were in the Drakensberg. The whole disruption, this concept of disruption. How do you use it? How do you?
Yes. Okay. So look, I think for the longest time, people have been focused on innovation. And I think innovation was good enough in the Industrial Revolution where things moved slowly, because innovation was doing what you did yesterday, just a bit better. Disruption is something fundamentally different. Disruption is making your current business model obsolete to create a new business model. And so that becomes a totally different mindset, perspective, and intention inside your team. And I think the worst thing businesses do is ask their team members to be both innovative and disruptive. And it's almost impossible to do what you did yesterday a bit better and make your current business model obsolete. So I suggest to all people that I work with is develop two teams, a tomorrow team and a today team. Your today team is all about innovation and your tomorrow team is all about disruption. And the businesses that I'm involved in, I'm always in the tomorrow team. I'm never in the today team. I'm a terrible doing what you did yesterday but better type person. But I'm an excellent making a business model obsolete kind of person.
You sound just like my bloody wife. Yeah, she's laughing like a drain. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, which one is she?
She's the same. She's also a disruptor. She'll make everything obsolete. That's what she does.
Yeah.
And you know, she's a teacher, so she goes. She was saying, what about schools and education? Yeah. You know, I don't know what your thoughts are there.
Yeah, sure. Look, I mean, we're seeing the absolute democratization of education right in front of our eyes, where universities are becoming so ridiculous to pay that much money to watch a Zoom lecture and get things mailed to you. And so all of a sudden, we're starting to see this concept that we don't even need to go to school. We need to be able to think about education in a very different way, which gives us all access to some incredible information out there. Now, I think the biggest problem with education is that they've always thought that if you take your textbook and put it on an iPad, you've done the new type of education. And in fact, that's not really the new type of education. That's just taking a linear business model and putting online. What we are starting to see is the sort of utilization of machine learning, data, and artificial intelligence coming in and personalizing and adapting your learning skill based on your learning type. We all know that all of us learn differently at different rates and about different subjects. So I think the future of education is a mix of AI and data that gives us a hyper-personalized education based on our passions and our curiosities at the pace we require to learn it. So I know that I'm a drip learner. And so I need to have small modules of hits, like 10-minute drips or modules over a period of time, and that's how I learn. And also, if you try and force me to learn something I don't want to learn, I am the worst student and actually was terrible at school because of that.
That's me. I'm a drip learner. I didn't realize there was a name for it. I'm a drip
learning. Yeah.
Okay, nano. You see, I told them. I didn't know the name of it.
Yes. And look, school was developed for about 35 or 40% of the human population, because only 35 or 40% of the human population are in linear thinking, and they're very good at science, maths, and those sort of things. Yeah. I am terrible at those things, and I was just useless at school. But in post-life, I've become really successful. So you see that the education system's not designed for everybody.
Absolutely. Well, John, we're getting to the end of. I don't want to keep you here all night. Otherwise, you're going to start charging me.
Don't worry. The invoice would have arrived if I was going to do that.
No, but like, John, I want to find out. There's a couple of things. I normally ask my comedian guys that come on, and those guys. You're doing talks all the time. You're doing things all the time, and you have to deal with these audiences. And I always ask what's your best gig and worst gig. And
Sure.
I don't know if you've
Yeah.
had some really good ones and some really bad ones, but there are often some really nice stories in there.
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't have hecklers, thank goodness, because I wouldn't know what to do with them. I know you guys do, and kudos to you guys for putting up with that. But look, the audiences that don't understand what I'm speaking about are the ones that look at me very blankly, like they have spoken some sort of Chinese to them or Russian. And I can see the audience is just like so confused that I'm talking about neuroplasticity when I'm supposed to be talking about the future. So it's almost like weird to them. So I can feel that disconnect in such a deeply emotional way because I get off that stage and I'm honestly depressed for like a day or two.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that was such a bad innings, you know?
Oh, no.
But look, I've spoken hundreds of times. It's happened 3 times to me. And I know every single time, and I can demarcate exactly where they were and who they were to. I remember it well. but I think one of the best talks I had was, you know, one of the most difficult audiences in the world is the Arab world. And the Arab are just culturally not into smiling much. I think it might show weakness to a certain extent.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
To swing an Arab crowd into smiling and laughing and engaging is a very difficult place because you're taking them from -10 to 5 out of 10, you know? And so it's not like a South African crowd where you're already at 5 and you can go up to a 10. This is starting at -10. And so I did a talk for the Abu Dhabi government and the sheikhs were all there and obviously very stern in the way they move around, and by the end of it, they were fantastic, and they've hired me again a few times, and that was my favorite. That was my favorite one. Yeah.
Oh, good. Because you got to know that generally people, when you're up there, people want you to do well as well. They want to understand and they want to do it. You know, so even if they're not showing it, like you say, an Arab crowd might be more difficult. I think it'd be terrible for me. That's for sure.
Oh no! You wouldn't. Look, you know the protocol you get before you get up on a stage when you got excellencies on the crowd. You have so many different protocols. You're not allowed to talk about this or this or this or this
really?
or say that. Not allowed to say this country, this country, this country. No toilet jokes, no sex jokes, no. I get you're allowed any of those things, you know?
Oh, I'm stuffed. I'm not going to Dubai.
I wouldn't go there if I were you. No, don't go. Yeah.
And John, you were in Dubai.
One more question there.
Oh, yes, I see that. She wants to know what you were like at school.
Terrible. I was a terror. I didn't have a dad, and I was a single mom kid, and I had nobody spanking me, which I should have been spanked a few times. I got expelled a couple times. I was nowhere, man. I hated school. I didn't like any of it. I was embarrassed that I was poor, so I just didn't like any of it. So I'm glad it's done.
Man, I'm glad to hear that because I know there are lots of kids that feel the same. Why didn't John predict COVID? That's what.
Good question, Gary. I think that's Gary.
Yes, that's probably Gary. Yeah.
I'm not into tracking like viruses. You know, I'm into tracking tech and societal changes. And I've been asked that question before. My response has been, I didn't specifically predict COVID, but I did preempt all the changes that are coming to us now that I thought would come in 2025 to 2030. So the future has arrived 5 to 10 years too early. So I don't think I got anything wrong. I just got the timing wrong, and I apologize for that. I'll try and do better next time.
It came a little bit too soon. I would have liked it to stay till 2030 as well. It would be great.
Geez. Yeah,
but John,
it arrived out of nowhere.
Thank you so much for coming on, John. It's amazing to talk to someone like you, and I love it. I'm gonna for the guys. Maybe you can put the link in the comments just now when you go off. That'll be fantastic. Just to where your website and your new book as well that you're going to be doing. So it's Future Next.
yeah, I think the suggestion for me always is follow me on Instagram. I post on there. I share on there. I'm always making videos on there. So Instagram's a nice place to engage with and ask questions if you have any.
I see that you're an Instagrammer. I saw that.
Yes, I
saw
am an
that.
Instagrammer. Yeah, I enjoy that platform. Yeah.
Fantastic, John.
Oh.
It's been amazing
Yeah,
to
Gene.
have you on the show. It's a totally
Thank you,
different
brother.
show that I've had before, and thank you for being part of it. Amazing.
And thank you so much for having me. Well done.
It's a
Ciao.
pleasure. Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Bye.
All right, John Sanei. Amazing. It's just a bit of a mind, and also very very positive for a COVID world. I think so. So right now we're getting to the point of the show where we need to do the competition. And that is going to be a Fiction Leads hamper. John, I must just get John's details as well so that I can send one to him. But our viewer, one of you guys online at the moment, I can see there are a pile of you online there at the moment, you're going to win a Fiction Leads hamper or a case of Fiction Leads, and that'll be delivered to your door. And that will be given to you if you can guess the song that I'm going to play on my drums right now. I'm going to head over to the drum cam, and I want the name of the song and the name of the band in the comments. The first one to stick it in there is going to be the winner of our Fiction Leads competition today. Thank you very much to Fiction Leads. Thank you to Blue Horse Cafe. Thank you to Amobia. That's right. Amobia is our amazing internet, and I've redone my drum cam. I'm going to switch to the drum cam now. I've redone the drum cam here as well. Bit of a new look, a little bit brighter. And in my pineapple suit, I am going to hit the next song, get Philippa to stick it on, and we're going to guess the song and the name of the band in the comments, and you're going to win a hamper of Fiction Leads. Right here. What do we got? Oh, we're back. Oh, fantastic. All right, and you can hit the credits. We have a winner. Hawaii. There we go. Gavin Ashley Fowler. ZZ Top. Is that the one we got? We need Tush and ZZ Top together. I don't know if we got that. We need the two of them. Oh, Brent Kozak. He got both. There we go. That's our winner. We got it. All right. That's our winner tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's Twist again. Gavin Ashley Fowler. He got it. Tush ZZ Top. He got it first. Before Brent even got it. Brent, you nearly got it, Brent. Muso in nice or George or Sedgefield or somewhere down that way. Fantastic Muso. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, thank you to our sponsors. Next week, all right, let's just take this down a little bit. Next week we have, on Tuesday next week, we've got Ian Mitchell from the Music Kitchen. Ian is going to come in and talk about all the different acts that he's had there, and we're going to have a great chat to him. And on Saturday, this coming Saturday, we have something special for you. Mickey Arthur is around, and he's going to be helping with a special show on Saturday. So just look out for that. 6:30 Gino spot. We'll see you there. All right.
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. Drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver. Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino spot.